Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to plunge into some fascinating material, really dig out those nuggets of knowledge that hopefully broaden your perspective a bit.
Exactly.
And today we're doing something a little different. We're slowing things right down, stepping back a bit.
Hmm.
We're immersing ourselves in, that uniquely comforting world of fictional rural England, specifically the Thrush Green series.
Yes, by Miss Reed.
By Dora Saint, yes, writing as Miss Reed. And the big question we're asking is, why do these quiet village stories, the first one from what, 1959?
That's right, 59.
Why do they still hit home so much today? Why are they such a literary refuge for people in our crazy, fast-paced world?
That really is the core question, isn't it? And the sources you've got, those excerpts from Thrush Green, a Village Chronicle, they give us a fantastic window.
Good.
So our mission really is to pull out not just the plot points or who the characters are, but the deeper stuff. Why does this gentle way of telling a story create such a powerful feeling? That sense of belonging, of peace, it's quite something.
It really is. Okay, so let's start with the author, Dora Saint. She lived a long time, 1913 to 2012. Wrote as Miss Reed.
A beloved name.
Absolutely. Two big series. There was Fairacre, which was very much about school life.
Wait, focused on the schoolmistress?
Exactly. But Thrush Green, starting in 59, it took this much wider view, a panoramic lens almost. Third person.
Yeah.
Capturing all the little dramas, the shared life of the whole village.
And that panoramic view, I think that's absolutely crucial. It's not just a style choice.
Right.
It's fundamental to how the series makes you feel like you're in the community. It weaves together all these different lives. You see the whole village ecosystem, not just one person's perspective.
Yeah.
That's so important for making it feel, well, real.
So what does that ecosystem actually look like? Describe Thrush Green for us.
Well, it's classic Cotswolds, really tranquil.
Picturesque.
Definitely. You've got the village green right at the center, the church, St. Andrews, the school, the doctor's house, the two pheasants inn.
The pub. Yeah. Always important.
Always. And then clusters of cottages around it. It's a place that really runs by the seasons, you know? The Mayfair, harvest time, frosty winters, spring coming back. That rhythm is constant.
And the sources also mention Lulling, the nearby town.
Yes, Lulling, which is a really interesting contrast.
How so?
Well, it's the bigger market town. It has more shops, better medical facilities, perhaps, things described as modern conveniences.
Right, the outside world creeping in.
Exactly. It represents that pole of change, the wider world. But what's fascinating, and the sources point this out, is that even with Lulling nearby, the villagers always come back. They return to the familiar, the comfort of Thrush Green. It really shows how resilient that sense of community is, even when there are other options. That tradition holds strong.
And the way Miss Reed structures these stories is quite special, too. That first novel, Thrush Green, the whole plot happens in just one day, a single May Day, from morning till night.
Incredible focus.
Yeah, but the village fair right at the heart of it. It's so contained.
And even though the later books cover longer periods, maybe a season, maybe a year, they always come back to those communal moments, don't they?
They do.
Seasonal rituals, village gatherings, personal things like weddings or retirements. The pace is, well, gentle. It's rooted in everyday life, not big dramatic twists.
No cliffhangers here.
Not really. And that steady rhythm, that's a huge part of why it feels so comforting, so stable, I think. It's almost therapeutic compared to a lot of modern stories.
Okay, so setting, rhythm,
Oh.
but the real heart surely has to be the people.
Oh, absolutely. The residents of Thrush Green.
Miss Reed makes them feel so real, like you could bump into them. She fills the village with this amazing range of characters, these archetypes almost, but they feel individual.
They really do. Each one shows a different side of village life, the small shifts happening.
Let's talk about a few. The Curdle family. Mrs. Anne Curdle, she runs the traveling fair.
Right. Brings the excitement, the outside world, once a year for the Mayfair. A bit of nostalgia, too.
And her grandson, Ben. We see him grow up, don't we? From being a fairground kid to settling down in Thrush Green, becoming a mechanic.
And marrying Molly Piggott.
Yes. Marrying Molly. Putting down roots. It shows how the village can absorb people, how even outsiders can find a place if they, commit to it.
And Molly herself, she's described as gentle, steadfast.
She is. And she's the daughter of, well, one of the absolute standout characters, Albert Piggott.
Ah, Albert, the sexton.
The sexton of St. Andrews. He is wonderfully distinct, gruff, loves a drink, always grumbling about something.
Responsible for the churchyard, the bells, the graves.
Yeah, all the essential stuff. And his grumbling isn't just like a funny tick. It feels like part of the village's soundscape, you know?
Oh, totally. It shows that even the, let's say, difficult characters are still part of the fabric. They're accepted, valued even. Makes it feel very real, very tolerant.
And then you have this sort of community pillars, like Dr. Bailey, the old village doctor.
Just getting on a bit.
Right. And he gradually brings in Dr. Lovell, the younger doctor.
And we see Dr. Lovell's relationship with Ruth Bassett develop over the books.
Yes, that courtship. It shows life moving on, new generations.
And speaking of generations and change, what about the schoolmistresses, Dorothy Watson and Agnes Fogerty?
Oh, yes. In the school at Thrush Green, they're thinking about retiring, maybe moving away to the seaside.
It touches on aging, changing lives, but also that deep, enduring friendship they have.
Definitely. And even later, new people arrive, like the Youngs, Edward and Joan, who are maybe a bit more modernizing.
Reflecting those slow shifts in village life, even in the buildings sometimes.
And you've got eccentrics, too, like Dotty Harmer.
Oh, Dotty. With her animals and her herbal remedies.
Some dubious concoctions, maybe.
Perhaps. But she's utterly beloved, isn't she? A real fixture. Adds so much warmth.
And Ella Bembridge and Dimity Dean.
The contrasting friends, yes. Ella being outspoken, Dimity more retiring. Gentle humor there, and a look at different ways women navigated that world.
It's such a rich cast.
It really is. And what's so clever, I think, is how this range of characters lets Miss Reed show something really profound.
Let's do.
That even in a place this quiet, this seemingly unchanging, there's constant subtle movement. Individual lives transforming, social dynamics shifting, but all very gently under the surface. It's the relationships, how newcomers fit in, how old friends support each other. Even Albert Piggott and his daughter that show you these quiet changes happening.
Yeah.
And the community just absorbs it.
Find stability even with the shifts.
Exactly. And that's the brilliance, I think, showing how significant life's quiet moments can be and how a community finds its strength in absorbing change, not resisting it outright. That's where the sense of refuge comes from.
That makes perfect sense. And it leads us right into those deeper themes that run through the whole series, the things that really make it last.
Like community itself.
Yeah, that strong sense of community, of mutual aid. People in Thrush Green, they rely on each other, don't they? Helping out when someone's ill, mourning together, celebrating together.
It's woven into the fabric. A collective responsibility, almost like a safety net, as you said.
And the seasons. We mentioned them before, but they're just this constant presence.
The heartbeat of the place.
Yeah, from the Mayfair, harvest festivals, the school play in winter. That rhythm of nature, of time passing, it just anchors everything. It's predictable in a comforting way.
Then there's that tension you mentioned earlier, change versus tradition.
Right. You see it with the Mayfair maybe not continuing, the older doctor, the teachers retiring, modernization kind of nibbling at the edges.
But Miss Reed handles it so empathetically.
She does. She doesn't seem to condemn the new or just romanticize the old. She just shows it happening, understands both sides.
It's very balanced. And she looks at aging, too, doesn't she? And loneliness, perhaps?
Very sensitively. Characters like Dorothy and Agnes, the Lovelock sisters maybe, even Dr. Bailey, they face getting older, but often with real dignity and, crucially, with support from each other. Friendship is powerful.
Absolutely. And finally, that whole idea of belonging. Who belongs in Thrush Green? How do you earn your place?
It seems to be about consistency, isn't it? And kindness. Showing up, being part of things over time. Whether you're from a traveling family like the Curdles or someone new moving in, it's not instant, but it's earned through shared history.
So if you pull all that together, what you see is a series tackling these really big, universal human things: community, time, change, aging, belonging, but through this incredibly gentle, observant lens. Which brings us back to that question, in our world, which is often so loud and fast, what is this particular style that? The calm narration, the simple language, the polite but revealing dialogue, the quiet humor, what does it offer us? It's comfort reading, yes, but it feels real, doesn't it?
It does. It's not simplistic.
No, it gives you these quiet insights instead of relying on big dramatic events. It really is a kind of literary haven.
So wrapping up this deep dive then, it feels like Miss Reed's Thrush Green just invites you into this village where community is, well, both a comfort and a necessity, where things change seasons, people, but life itself, ordinary life, is seen as something profound, something to be cherished.
Beautifully put.
It reminds you that maybe the beauty is in those consistent, everyday moments we often overlook.
I think that's spot on. the lasting value here isn't about shock twists or intricate plots. It's in the sort of measured beauty of just turning the page and watching life unfold at its own pace.